A friend of mine told me that the Fantastic Four had a lame rogues gallery, that all they had was Doctor Doom. And yeah, they do run into Doctor Doom a lot. And Lee and Kirby, they did like 100 issues of the Fantastic Four, and they overused Doctor Doom, but they had a lot of other foes to fight. So it wasn't just them. So I thought I would do a little video on some of the people who've encountered the Fantastic Four. Let's go back. So they start off with the Mole Man, and then the Skrulls, and then the Miracle Man. Now, the Miracle Man was not used that much. And eventually, in the 80s, Mark Grunwald did a story about the Scourge of the Underworld, who was assassinating all the lame villains who aren't used much, and Miracle Man was one of them. Okay, then the Submariner came back into the Marvel continuity with this issue. And it was issue 5 before they met Doctor Doom. As I said, they overused Doctor Doom. So the next issue was Doctor Doom and the Submariner teaming up. And then the Puppet Master. And then there was another encounter with Submariner. Submariner showed up a lot too. And Doctor Doom again. And then the Impossible Man. And finally, the Hulk. And this was just in the first year. That many new interesting villains who become mainstream Marvel villains. This was also the very first fight between the Hulk and the Thing. So let's take a look at the second year. In the second year, we got the Red Ghost and his Super Apes. This was also the first appearance of the Watcher. And they went to the moon a few years ahead of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins there. After that, another Submariner story, and then the Mad Thinker and his awesome android. Then more Doctor Doom with Ant-Man. More Doctor Doom. Then Super Skrull, who had all the powers of the Fantastic Four. He was just as powerful, maybe more powerful than them when he first appeared, but in later appearances they made him considerably weaker in each of these powers than the Fantastic Four. Okay, so there was another Submariner story, and then the Pharaoh Ramatut. Now, Ramatut was a time traveler who'd gone back in time to ancient Egypt and taken over. And he captured the Fantastic Four and brainwashed them and made the Thing be a galley slave. But then he inexplicably turned into Ben Grimm, which broke Ramatut's control over his mind. Now, in the 80s, there was a Doctor Strange story where Doctor Strange traveled back to this time and was very quickly captured, but he astral projected, so now he's invisible and unsolid, wandering around doing mischief. And one of the things he did was cast the spell that turned Ben Grimm into the Thing, or turned the Thing back into Ben Grimm. So Ramatut was defeated by the Fantastic Four, of course. And he was from the 30th century, so he got in his time machine and went back to his own time. But while he was traveling back in time, or forward in time, he ran into Doctor Doom, who was also time traveling, and the experience changed him, affected him, and he overshot his time and ended up in the 41st century, where he became Kang the Conqueror. So another Fantastic Four. Then there's the Molecule Man. So even back then, the Molecule Man was one of the most powerful beings in the universe. And the Hate Monger was also a Sergeant Fury crossover. And after that, there was a Mole Man and a Doctor Doom story. Nope. Close that. So in that second year, I had all those villains. Still more. And then the third year, we get another Hulk thing fight, then an Avengers Fantastic Four versus the Hulk fight, then another Submariner crossover with Doctor Strange, and a X-Men crossover, and new villain, the Yancey Street Gang, and then there's Diablo. It seems like an alchemist would be a better villain for Doctor Strange, and let's see who else is well remembered. Dragon Man, and then the Frightful Four. Notice that one of the members of the Frightful Four is Medusa. The Frightful Four, once they showed up, they started showing up a lot, just like Doctor Doom had been. So there's an issue where they went to go fight the Skrulls. Oops. Oh, Automa. I think Automa existed in Submariner's book before he met the Fantastic Four. More with the Frightful Four and Doctor Doom, and more Frightful Four. And the ending of the Frightful Four storyline was that all of them except Medusa were captured. She got away. And so in this issue, Gorgon showed up, and it was revealed that in the next issue that Medusa is not just an ordinary supervillain. She's actually an Inhuman, and that there is such a thing as the Inhumans. So we had several issues of the Inhumans, and then Galactus and the Silver Surfer. So, that's just the first 50 issues. In the later issues, there was the Black Panther and the Kree and Blastar and Annihilus. The Fantastic Four have one of the best rogues galleries of any Marvel characters.